Yeah, now I'll be me under 17.
No stress, no stress. No stress.
Imagine anyone would say, when it's opposition for be 3 weeks in here, how does it feel? Say,
First of all, I mean, listeners,
okay,
Ghanaian citizens are on Mutio.
Right.
For the first time now, I'm very excited about the studios.
Oh, thank
very,
you.
very excellent place.
Thank you.
Opposition, and yet even half a day, in fact, a quarter of a day in opposition, and yet. So, Sisiano, yeah, planning and thinking, Bojuma, so that we can come back to government. Because the NPP government, no, yen say, in terms of managing the country economically and socially, no, we have always done better than the NDC. So it doesn't look good, say, we are in opposition. I think that I say, yeah, hurry up, put the party in shape and return to government and do what we have always done best for our country. So this is, for now, this is what I have to say about opposition.
Okay, there are people suggesting say more better opposition power because of the numbers and what they call a electoral defeat. You know, how long and how fast and quick do you think say the party will come to power?
Omu suggestion no, fairly no. Me say maybe omu are right because in the history of this country, it's a defeat we yanya bida. A parliament move called parliamentary election, and at the end of the parliamentary election, the leader of politics in Ghana, and one of the most important political parties in Africa, out of 276 parliamentary contests in the local constituencies, now 88 seats. It means that the opposition a blank check.
Yeah.
So by that wisdom, no, opposition no, without any serious opposition scrutiny.
Yeah.
In the governance system. So I'm sure says those kinds of people know that is the way of thinking thinking. But that's not the case. Yet to me, boy at home and work hard and fix the party and get the correct and very brave and courageous leadership. I'm sure say 2028 you be bounce back.
Okay. Before so be bounce back no, you have to know what led to your defeat in the first place. Mahuse Masete committee aura Aaron Michael Kweda no ne other members some person mo probe the real reasons. But to you, as a leading member of the party, even before the probe invites you, no, what do you think caused a catastrophic defeat?
First of all, say about 4 weeks ago, National Chairman announced say January or best set committee.
Right.
Now National Council best set committee to investigate a defeat. No. In fact, how can we not a press conference at our party headquarters? Me throw a very short piece and shared it on social media, any other portal. Say our committee no, and you're necessary because Muko investigated what we already know. Now, obia every serious NPP member, NPP officer, NPP volunteer, any NPP worker. Why we lost this election terribly. Now, Ukuako Seti committee to investigate what we already know. Now, for me, a waste of resources.
You and who?
Obia.
NPP
the general secretary. For example, the general secretary has been saying, the reason why Lucy is because we're not fair to our party people and treat you very well. Now, in some cases, he even said, which is the biggest joke in the world, also a spiritual. Yeah. The general secretary has said that. I think that is an indictment on the position for him to speak the way he spoke. Say, hey, spiritual. Wow, enumerating reasons are Lucy, including lack of support for your party people. Some of the party people did not work very hard, especially the leadership of their party in the various government institutions, chief executives, any MDs and co. On campaign and my party, and then you turn around to say, we have lost spiritually. What is spiritual about this? There is absolutely no evidence to suggest what the general secretary.
So you don't believe in spirituality?
It's false. In fact, it is the biggest cover-up for a general secretary to speak the way he spoke. No, I think that it is unfortunate.
Okay.
And I think the party people deserve an apology.
Okay.
Because only why we lost. There are two reasons why we lost. Number one reason,
Two reasons. Okay.
Just two reasons. Number one, the failure of the absolute failure of the current national officers of the party.
Okay.
They failed. In fact, almost performance in their mandate is the most shambolic, very abysmal performance. Now, so that is number one. Now,
all of them.
All of them. All of them, from the national chairman right down to anybody.
Okay.
Now, maybe in the course of the conversation, remember details why I think they have failed.
No.
And the other one is the way and manner the former president conducted himself in government.
You mean
Nanado? So the details of that,
the former president of Bibrio, Nanado now, okay.
No, the immediate past former president, Nanado Akuffo Addo. I don't think he conducted himself very well, and therefore an affected partner. So these are the two reasons. But under the two reasons, there are other issues might discuss it if there is time would permit us.
I would want us to run through the itemized and nearby.
Okay, so about Akuffo Addo first.
Okay.
Number one, who say now he was very Brunisi impervious. Impervious say the concerns of Ghanaians. Say Ghanaians kasa. He has got to listen because some mandate you secured it from Ghanaians.
Yeah.
Ghanaians never vote you. In fact, you got your job as president because Ghanaian people hired you.
Okay.
And therefore, if the citizens or more kasa, say wunchi. So number one, cabinet reshuffle. A very, very important measure would the assess you government.
Okay.
Now running government for several months, up to close to about 2-3 years. Now I'm for calling for cabinet reshuffle because at that time now the government was actually struggling.
Okay.
And then say make it reshuffle, just ignore the calls. But you can't say anybody calling for cabinet reshuffle is looking for a job. I think disparaging remarks, it offended a lot of Ghanaians.
Okay.
Over 90 NPP members of parliament in 2022, I think in the middle of 2022, almost started a conversation around the fact that the economy now the leader, the finance minister, should step aside so that they can get a more capable, a more competent finance minister to take over. Omo pursue the president, follow the president. The president more chance. It was until later, about 6 months later, Omo hold the press conference, and then the president invited them to say, they are more kind of mate, but yeah, we are in the IMF program. And I say IMF program no go it through. I would remove the finance minister. The first tranche of the money I received from IMF, I think it was in May 19th, thereabout, around the first month, which was about $600 million we received. It means that effectively by May or by the beginning of May, the IMF program has come to an end.
Okay.
So it was incumbent on the president to have fulfilled his promise to the members of parliament, say, IMF program has come to an end. So, Mr. Finance Minister, find your way. They pursued, and the call was all over the country, including senior members of the NPP who spoke publicly and privately. In fact, I will give my General Secretary a plus here because he was publicly heard also calling for the removal of the finance minister. But Akuffo Addo did not care. He did not respect the views of the Ghanaian people, especially the NPP people who supported him to get the job he did.
Okay.
So he didn't do it. It was just around February 2024 thereabouts, some 10 to 11 months to election.
Yeah.
And then he did some reshuffle and removed him. Now, all removing, the insult. What infuriated Ghanaians more was that one pound the crowd, a very huge appointment as a senior presidential advisor on finance. And then he was also the envoy to the international investment and capital markets.
What promoted?
Finance minister he said he was a local or domestic finance minister. Because Juma abroad you have given it to your cousin again. I think that it was also not right.
Okay.
It was a sign of disrespect for other business. Now, your traditional authorities, this one there, you should know how Akuffo Addo effectively requested that the traditional authorities should stand up and greet him.
Ehamo.
Obia free traditional area. Obia. You are Ghanaians, but we come from different traditional area. We respect our chiefs. Now, for a president to come to my community and tell my chief or city in state to stand up and greet him, that president will never get my vote. It doesn't matter whether you're NPP president or NDC president. The president will. It's a disrespect for our traditional authority.
Okay.
Now, the governance is hinged on tradition, because the traditional authorities sometimes very, very difficult for your government officials, especially at the local level, to deliver. Now, if you disrespect and undermine your traditional authorities the way Akuffo Addo did, it became a problem.
Did anybody speak up publicly, including yourself? Because this was repeatedly done.
A number of people spoke up. On this particular matter, I didn't speak out publicly, but a number of people spoke out publicly. It was on radio, people were talking. And you see,
people in MPP.
Yes, a lot of MPP people spoke.
Okay.
And you see, it is not even MPP. You have to respect the Ghanaian voice.
Yeah.
You are not an MPP president. You are the president of the Republic of Ghana.
Right.
Now, every Ghanaian citizen or your subject. Now say, they are not happy and they are speaking. You've got to listen to me, Bwana.
Right.
So people spoke. So now an issue. The other thing I found quite bad.
Okay.
Affecting the process was the traveling of this special presidential chair. I think that it was totally needless. He should not do that. Now, sometimes you have to humble yourself as a leader, and then you can galvanize the energies of it was bad. It was terrible. Very, very terrible. Now, I had spoken to two senior members of the party, and then they told me that they will speak to him. They didn't speak to him. Or they had spoken to him now because he kept carrying the chair. What was the need for that?
Maybe spiritual.
No, there shouldn't be any spirituality around that. The people like you. That is why they gave you the mandate. Nobody's going to do anything to you. Now, spirituality will only... In fact, that I don't even believe in that thing. For some reason, it is not right. Now, why didn't he bring the chair on the day of the inauguration of John Mahama?
So we're free power.
No, so it means there's nothing spiritual about it, because you are looking, you were thinking, say, a different chair, so something will happen to you. So it was a big issue of this chair matter. Then the e-levy. E-levy. Obia MPP supporters all over the country said no. The vice president of the Republic of Ghana on Peace FM or say implementing program no ebe hapat no ebe Ghanaian citizens are almost poor, but they went ahead and implemented e-levy. A day to the election, can you believe that all running campaign to seek the mandate of the Ghanaian people? And a day to the election work of increasing fuel prices. I have never seen this kind of strategy before. Very failed strategy. Government who run election, a day to election work of increasing fuel prices. I think it was uncalled for.
Okay.
Higher. 3 months to the election in October, the PURC almost increasing tariffs on water and electricity.
Together.
What kind of governance is that? Government, you are seeking the mandate of the people, and then few months to the election, campaign. So all these things were issues that decisions our government to take care affect here. If you look at the non-payment of NAPCO recruits, steppings, youth in afforestation, national service personnel, teacher and nursing trainee, students, all these arrears are on for several months now. It happened because these people were talking. Now, how much did you need to pay them? And the finance minister didn't pay them. But this same finance minister is able to dish out about nearly $40 million and pay a company which is linked to Edwina and Jan Krumah. You remember Service Auto Ghana Limited, ambulance issues.
Yes.
Yes, we are told 5 days before Ken Ofori-Atta left office, he had approved payment of nearly $39 million, a little over $39 million to the company. When other Ghanaian citizens are country, they've been working for several months. I think NAPCO was about 8 to 9 months, and then they were not paid. So all these things and then it became a problem. And then his body language and his mannerism was very, very poor too. When chiefs come to you to talk to you about area of development, you don't tell them that, because you haven't voted my person, and on the basis in my area, you are a leader. You don't speak like that. So So this way, apart from that, I mean, in terms of policy issues, in terms of governance issues, in terms of the way you manage social issues, I think that we did well as a
but the economy was
government.
the main.
But the economy became a problem.
Okay.
And Sa Nka Oyi Ken Ofori-Atta longer and brought me a much more competent person Nka economy. You remember the last few days of Dr. Mohammed Amin Adam. Things started working well, and he got the praises from civil society organizations in the country and even the boss of the IMF. And that is what we expect. Says Nka Akuffo Addo yi Ken Ofori-Atta 2 years ago before the elections. I think that even if we are going to lose election, can lose it the way Lucy. So that is the issue of the government.
What can say about Akuffo Addo? But one but the candidate that went into the elections, because one of the key issues among for the two about was dollar, because it affected businesses and trade, and the person who spearheaded $1, 1 CD, $4, 4 CDs, $1, then dollar to 17, almost 18. Was the economic management team headed by the vice president who went into the election as a candidate, because all the BBS saw Akuffo Addo.
No, nobody can defend that. There is a Akuffo Addo government led by him. They run a cabinet government in this country.
Right.
And the leader of cabinet is Akuffo Addo. He ran a presidential governance in this country. The constitution, the president, the mandate to do.
Right.
So if who bring this suggestion and the president doesn't want the suggestion to work, suggestion one typical example Dr. Baumia ko katre Peace FM for any Ghanaians say e-levy poor people.
Yes.
Now weeks later there was e-levy. You think Dr. Baumia was going to be happy with that? He's not going to be happy.
Do you think
that.
he was sidelined?
He was absolutely sidelined. He was sidelined. Everybody not knew he was. He's the only person who would deny that he wasn't sidelined, because I know his nature.
So why will he lie?
No, he would just deny that he wasn't sidelined, because his nature is that he doesn't really offend people. So he will say he's not sidelined. But I know, and everybody know in this country that he was sidelined, because the economy was virtually run by the finance minister and the president and some few non-government officials around the president. Now, running economy. So, exchange rates difficulty, Who say no NPP person can defend it.
Yeah.
Now, who be defend this? It means that you need God to lead in the communication to defend it.
Yeah.
It was horrible. We didn't do well in that area. And the reason why we didn't do well in that area is because Dr. Baumia was not listened to. Amount for BBC economic management team. Economic management is an advisory body.
Okay.
And I tell you, today, the vice president of the Republic of Ghana today, say by convention, or he will be the chairperson of the economic management team.
Right.
And then she will understand that as our body, is just an advisory. In fact, the non-existent of the economic management team, it is not unconstitutional not to have it. Okay. So our economic management team is just an advisory body for the president. Now, the advice no bar. It's up to the president to either take the advice or not take it.
You are a leading member. You are still a leading member of the party. There are calls, you people have suddenly become outspoken because na musru se mo bekasa under the president. Nti ente se mo kan about enema we nyina wo kan ne. You were still defending, not you, but the party kept on defending all these things that happen here.
No.
Why have you become outspoken?
In my case, I'm not correct.
Okay.
A couple of times.
Okay.
So I give an example. on the 22nd of July.
Yeah.
Now this is verifiable. We'll call me Facebook. It's a very popular Facebook account.
Yeah.
Me issue statement calling on the president to pay NAPCO people, youth in afforestation,
right,
school caterers, and so on and so forth. I issued a statement.
Right.
It will take a very courageous government appointee to issue such a statement.
Okay.
So I issued it.
That is one.
Then, when the PRC almost increase prices, no. You remember almost increase prices, no, in October.
Yes.
Me issue another statement, and I'm sure my boys can pull up the statement on my Facebook wall. And I even described that stupid. And a lot of people were angry with me, but probably the context of the way no Montias here. I said stupid because how can a government agency increase prices of goods and our services 3 months to elections? War control. Whatever be the case, this thing shouldn't have happened because you call election. So I issued a statement and demanded for the reversal. I called on the government, demanding for the reversal of SAR policy. No, it didn't help us. Then in October, I think October 2023, before presidential elections, we make another appeal to the yet to be elected presidential candidate to pay these people, these NAPCO people and things like that. There's so many things. Who called Gabi to order? When Gabi made, and everybody knows how powerful Gabi is in the last NPP government, the cousin of the president, some periodically referred to as Ghana's prime minister, very powerful person in this government, and nobody could venture point accusing fingers at him. Or move demanding for reshuffle, Ghanaians calling for reshuffles are across board. I'll call Facebook to write, say, oh, it is as if a reshuffle is going to end the Ukraine war and now to bring to make the city stronger and so on and so forth. So the next day, me could read this and I say, wow, this person wrote this. So I replied on my Facebook wall, and it's there, you can verify that. And I said that comment I'll make a very insensitive comment. We have election to win, and therefore comments of this nature, no, and so on.
Okay.
It takes a brave person, courageous. Then now I was deputy CEO of the Forestry Commission.
Yes.
And I got calls around the country, and some calls coming from abroad. Say Musah Iddrisu. I say, look, I am happy. Say president will say that, look, Musah, leave the job because I have taken his cousin on because of your party, because now there were elections to win, and proximity to the president, and who you are in the party, it will become very, very terrible. Absolutely. To be speaking the way I okay. So I whatever came to my mind, time I made official of government, I spoke it out in Tamale when I was Tamale mayor. There are a lot of things that I would get information from the top not to do, but because I believe it was right, I went ahead and did it. They were, cleaning up the street.
Okay.
How do people come on, sit in the middle of the street and sell goods? Now you tell them, no, this is not where. This is not where. Get off from the place and allow peaceful vehicular movement. Report me, I'm a chief of staff. I got calls from senior
palm traders from the street.
Palm traders, and then there was a report, and then senior government officials will contact me and say, "Oh, Musah Iddrisu," and I said, "No, the president has. If he's not happy with the way I'm running the metropolis, he can ask me to stand down. But the media, I believe is right. It is not right for people to be selling in the middle of the street. Na street nama, one of the major roads in Tamale, so narrow that there was a struggle between vehicles, any traders, any pedestrians. So when you so it is not true that every government official kept quiet. At the time all these things were happening. Some of us spoke out.
But do you think, sir, na mo party more allow for dissent? As we can say mampenyi empire. Now we're cutting off and now we're reducing the influence and now we're
so you see, there is evidence that there's culture of silence in the party, and people are not very happy with it. So Nipa be car, and then people would employ people to go and
NPP, no?
Yes,
It's
yes.
a culture of silence.
A party initiating liberal democracy in this country. Now, say kasa, and people don't want you to talk. But transparency is important. Now, kasa party no. Obi an kasa, because that is the basis for democracy and free speech. Now, provided ukasa no and attacking anybody's person, you can't come and say, oh, be this, no, this, or this. No.
Yeah.
Speak to the issues like we're doing right now and allow the process not to encourage SAR at the end. So there's evidence that the people are intimidating people not to talk. So, for example, the General Secretary would say that there are some people on Nimomo, so Mbeka say on Norma we lose election, no, he will take them on. I'm telling you, you are a very shambolic General Secretary.
No.
Very, very shambolic General
but
Secretary.
that's too harsh.
No, it's not. Go and look for the word shambolic. Shambolic is somebody who didn't perform well.
No, so as a person or in his
General Secretary, that's why I didn't mention the name.
Okay.
Oh yeah, he's a title holder of my party, and I have the right. The General Secretary, shambolic General Secretary, abysmal performance. In fact, this performance had the worst performance in the history of the NPP, and therefore, for anybody to hold himself, say, oh, this election, no, dear, especially the leadership of the party, is the biggest joke. It's the biggest joke. So, Sahadiano, Omunjai, na Kasano should go on. People should be allowed to make comments. They feel that has affected this party.
Okay.
All comments made about me, I'm very happy. There are negative comments being made about Musa Superior. I'm very, very happy because it encourages participation so that everybody will feel part of the system and the process to address the party.
Okay.
But I'll put it on record that the leadership of your party, the national executives of your party,
right,
they are any business to suggest elsewhere, say, Obina Ekosi, the defeat of this party. They have done this party a very weak party from onset. As national officers, any evidence across the country to suggest that they were not there in the north, they were not there in the eastern region, Ashanti region, they were not there anywhere. Now, me pese challenging by publishing an activity plan. Use here to manage the party in the last few years. I choose at the Accra Sports Stadium. None. The party is weak, no resources. Your communicators need resources. In fact, very simple telephones, smartphones for our communicators around the country to use to do research. There's no internet. Who call a party officer? There's no. It's a mess, total mess. Organization, it was totally poor. Very, very. The bridge between the party and government totally broke down, and therefore, party for constituency executives in particular, now most of them now nijuma.
Okay.
How do you run a party in government? Constituency executives nijuma. How many are they? How many constituencies are there? 276 constituencies.
They were unemployed.
Most of them were unemployed. Most of them need any source of income, and then you are running a political party. And then your party is in government. The only reason why we have a political party is to win elections. Now, I say we need election. There should be a system by the party to ensure, not the government, for government, or for the whole country, but the party should have a program to ensure that there is what we call an empowerment plan for your party people. I don't accept this idea that we need election. Everybody should for himself, God for us all. That's wrong. Because in the time of the campaign, now you're working collectively together. So after election, the party headquarters, spearheaded by the General Secretary and other officers of the party, said they should have what we call a support plan in place.
Okay.
So that we are developing a business development unit at the party headquarters. And so business development unit, it's a party for especially your party officers around the country so that they can access opportunities in government.
Well, you have attributed majorly the defeat in Odiama General Secretary now Oboni Dean more. But people have also questioned the national chairman.
Let me say,
what's the executives? No,
the
but
executives.
Who single out the general?
No,
secretary?
all of them. All of them. I am only challenging General Secretary because, or say, number one, we lost because of. There was a spiritual reason why we lost, and I think it's the biggest joke, and that should not be spoken because you are disrespecting the party people.
Okay.
And then you also said, say, anybody who speaks about you, and that unim amount for now omoka about you that you were part of reasons why we lost now. You don't speak like that. General Secretary should not be threatening people. You are the General Secretary. We gave you the mandate. Now say you are not even happy. You've got to calm down,
right,
and sober yourself, and then respond with humility. Now, can say if people should say that if you don't want to be criticized, you just resign. So if you don't want criticism, because the democracy, part of the correcting your mistakes is for people to criticize you.
Okay.
Now, warning ahead says, I'm out for criticize you. You would say things they don't like.
Do you think
that's poor leadership?
Yeah, they have to resign because some of them will go for a re-election.
I think that they should even have an IMC. The National Council should tell them to stand down so that
all of them,
because we see a interim management committee.
So all the executives should resign.
That is my view. It's my personal view, Musah Superior's view. It is not your view. It is not Chris's view.
Today, and I say immediately after the election,
they should resign because you started a process called the rebuilding and restructuring process to recapture power.
Okay.
Now, how can such an incompetent team almost lead you to the worst defeat in the history of the NPP supervise our process? It is contradiction. These people have led us to the worst defeat.
Yeah.
Then we have elections in 2028. Then you say, start rebuilding of this part new. These people who have no idea of SOP, who have no idea of strategy, organizational acumen, and precision to supervise a party. So I am calling, and people think that it's a very huge thing to do, but it's huge. They should have personally stood down. Now, but National Council should persuade them to stand down.
Force them to stand down.
Now they should persuade them to stand down so that if
persuasion fails,
the difficulty is that I'm not sure the National Council can force them to stand down. To be honest with you, but they can be persuaded, and I'm here persuading them. Me make it direct appeal to them. One of them publicly made a statement, and I respect the person, Nana B.
Okay.
Say waka say on the Onkubium. And the reason Nana B, I believe, issues that statement to say Onkubium is because he has heard around the country the kind of view people have for our current executive.
Okay.
So it is proper say almost standing down so that we form an interim management committee to oversee this process, especially that National Council has put in place a committee to investigate election defeat across the country.
Within the NPP there, you have things that you say, you have identified some of the problems. People outside also believe, we say, these national executives, you former mayor of Tamale, you former deputy CEO of a whole institution like the Forestry Commission, despite say economy weak, Ghana for so far, you people have made a lot of money. And Tina, you don't even care.
I can only speak for myself. I have not made any money.
You have not made money?
No. I was a deputy CEO.
Of Forestry Commission?
No. I was a deputy CEO. My CEO, he didn't care about the party.
Who?
He's called John Aluti. He's never been a member of this party. He's on Nyejuma Mapa. Even as election I 2024, this guy was sitting in the office. Not even one single constituency Okoye. So maybe when you have to call him and ask him how much he made. But
he doesn't work for the party.
He doesn't work. He's never worked for the party.
He's the CEO.
He's never worked for. In fact, I don't think Oya MPP sympathizer. I don't even think so.
So how did he get there?
I cannot tell.
He's a Ghanaian.
He's a Ghanaian. No, but look at Mahama. Politics is politics. When people fight for you, put them in good places so that they can continue to fight for their party.
Is that what Mahama did?
Look at Mahama.
Are you impressed?
The only neutral. Yes, I am impressed because he's putting his party people, and I'm happy with that.
Oh.
Yes, every political party in government must put their people to safeguard what they believe in. Now, how can you go and make Musa Superior a minister or a CEO in an NDC government? It doesn't work. In fact, it is false. So I'm happy. I'm impressed. So far, the only non-political appointment Mahama and it's because it's non-political. It's the Constitutional Review Committee.
Professor H. Kosi Prempeh.
Yes. Why didn't he make H. Kosi Prempeh the Attorney General? Because we all know H. Kosi Prempeh, the kind of work he can do for a country if he becomes an Attorney General. Because he doesn't align to Omo Party's vision.
Okay.
So it is incumbent on the next NPP president to make sure that strategic institutions are able to buy a party. There should be NPP people. There should be NPP people. And I don't regret for saying this. And it's important, say, appointments by president. I mean, if you are a party leader who call cabinet now, who kasana president, not president, no person on chair, and then you just keep quiet. It means that party leader. Party leaders should speak to the president and tell him that, Mr. President, I may can't because of their partners. I have no option than to go to the party so that we will withdraw our support from you.
Do you also support MPP for any big calls to say, win election, all of a sudden, Nipa be brief Bruchi, Abejiji key position?
It is true. And those people, unfortunately, no more members of your branches where they come from. So, for example, if you came from a UK or UK branch, America or America branch, Canada or Canada branch, pass it through the back door. Came to the country, saw very powerful people around the president, and then they got all these juicy jobs. A man for Bojuma. If you go to the UK, weather conditions in the UK are easy. Nightly meetings. I was a member of the UK branch, so meaning what I'm talking about.
Okay.
And then at the end of the day, you win election. Lo and behold, they remain a group which has been unconsulted for a period of 4 years.
But
now, a man for free UK for appointments and no consultation have been made. I think that should stop, and the party should insist. The next leadership of your party, they should insist, and that should be made clear to whoever becomes a presidential candidate that the party will not tolerate that. This party is bigger than everybody. We are bigger than Musa Superior. We are bigger than the presidential candidate. We are bigger than the president, because our president NPP want me winning power.
Okay.
So they have to respect the party.
Okay.
Now, all respective party party so that the party will have a life. And going forward, we can win more elections. Now, if you are running a government and the way I will run a government, actions I will take or decisions that you take a party for and demotivate our party people it's most likely that the next election we lose.
Okay.
And therefore, the party leadership, especially the National Steering Committee, should always insist that the right thing is done.
It's done. Okay. Mamimbusa say, apart from the executives also resign any other issues, what will be the key, one or two key reforms in rebuilding NPP?
One is abolishes our polling station delegate system. And boy a partner.
Delegate,
young abolish it. And making sure say obia our membership card.
Okay.
Otian dues. Uncle vote.
More enlarge it.
Yes, you're making sure say polling station delegate system it is not democratic and yet inclusive.
Okay.
How do you have a polling station people of say 100 or 200 people and only 5 people are taking decision on behalf of these 200 people, and sometimes our decision and yet a consulted decision. They just go there and then they take those decisions.
Okay.
And then say because we have very few encourage bribery and corruption. Anytime I go to a bar, you see that they are easily bribed. But if there are a lot of them, if you have 200 members of the party at a particular station are almost to a bar, it will be difficult for anybody to come and give 200 members no TV and fridges and 1,000 Ghana cities, because you have a long way to go.
Okay.
If you have over 500 polling stations in a constituency and every polling station or over 100 people are almost to a bar, bribery ultimate.
Okay.
You may want to do it, but it will be difficult for you to do. So that's one reform.
One reform.
The other reform is that the National Council, Young Council, National Council, they should scrap the National Council.
How?
Because the National Council, no, it is prone to manipulation. Prone to manipulation.
Right.
Steering committee, any National Executive Committee. So that National Executive Committee no best supervise National Council.
Okay.
And the National Council, what's the difference between our National Council and a National Executive Committee? Just check the list. You will see that it has become a problem. Now, now Jai Steering Committee to take the decision. And the membership of the steering committees a very strong membership. The president is there, the chairman of party, all elected members of the party, our leader in parliament, the chairman of the council of elders. Who say in the wisdom of the writers of the constitution, it was clear, say they were looking at the various representation of the party, put together the steering committee. Most of the decisions of your party is taken at National Council. When the steering committee mandate to be the day-to-day operational organ of their party. So I think that the National Council should be scrapped. I also think, say, but elected leadership in parliament. We should allow members of parliament to elect our own leaders. The party shouldn't do that because you are interfering in the work of the caucus. Now, for the caucus to be independent, so the leadership of the caucus to be independent, so that they can speak directly to the president or the leadership of their party and follow up. They should elect themselves. Look at the way Chairman Sabons was thrown out, even though Afenyumakin seemed to be doing extremely brilliant. But the way Chairman Sabons was thrown out, it was totally wrong. Because you can't just sit down, call somebody and say, look, we want to change you. And
why was he changing?
For no reason. There was no justification for his change. And that's why I'm saying, caucus no elect no. Nobody would have changed him. As for your markings, look at the way he started doing. And then in future, the National Council, some president says that, look, I don't like Asomon, let's get him changed. You should not, no president should be able to do that. And then I'm also talking about the way organizational structure not here. Electoral area, were coordinators. I don't think we should have
you speak to the mic.
Electoral area coordinators, no. Electoral area executive. So that every electoral area will have at least 7-member executive. Enhance Omujuma and so on and so off. I'm also insisting, say, the chairman of the party should be made the leader of the party. Permanently in the constitution, say and change the constitution and make it chairman of the party, whether in opposition or in government, should be made the leader of. I think
and not the
same view. No, as for the president, say or no, he has got a bigger responsibility to be president, to look after the country. Presidential candidate, you have a short term. They elect you for a period. After that period, that position, presidential candidate, does no longer exist. Whether you have won the elections and you haven't won. If you have won, you become president. And then you have this bigger responsibility of looking after Ghana. If you haven't won, you are no longer a president. So your leader of the party to be the chairman, a lacuna no, address a lot. It gives the chairman additional power to be able to deal with. But if amount for Britimi Frey flag bearer leader, on your leader, there is nowhere in the constitution of the NPP who suggests that the flag bearer is the leader of the party. We don't have that. I think NDC or more, but NPP and NISA, they were chairman, any flag bearer. We need a leader so that will be a Ben who say this is the leader.
The party is yes. The person who is the chairman of
should
the
be
party
the leader
at any point in time.
Any point, leader. Whether in opposition of government, should be leader. Enhancing the authority. And the other one I want to talk about is your campaign team.
And there are more reforms.
I have a lot of them, but I would your campaign team. As I enjoy Sadiano and forming campaign, the steering committee is there. The steering committee they supervising the activities of the party on the daily basis. So say campaign time drew maybe 1 year to the election. The steering committee additional responsibility. So that the chairman of the party become the campaign chairman. And I'm proposing all these things. Say general secretary, obey campaign manager, the national organizer, obey director of operations, and then Nasara coordinator, youth organizer, any women's organizer. Umbeye in charge of coordinating the activities of the youth, women, and Nasara organization.
Okay.
First vice, second vice, third vice chairman. Deputy campaign managers with specific responsibilities.
Okay.
And probably they can add 3 more people.
Okay.
Now, when I see the presidential candidate should announce a campaign team, I think what part from day one, because all the time, the presidential campaign teams undermining the steering committee, because you see that the traction goes to the presidential campaign team.
Yeah.
And sometimes the presidential candidate does not even get it right in setting up the campaign team.
Okay.
So I say, the steering committee, and we'll have the chairman of the council of elders of the steering committee. Okay. He can be the chief advisor to the campaign team.
Do you think the campaign team no failure and our lapses na ama mo entumenya turnout? People did not go to vote at all.
People did not go to vote because the party collectively was totally unattractive, and I've indicated.
Okay.
Partner
campaign.
No, for the campaign team, they were around the presidential candidate, and they were, of course, almost issues that probably we can discuss another time. But the party collectively said they can say a presidential candidate does not win elections.
Okay.
Parliamentary candidate don't win election. You can have the most brilliant, the smartest, the most charismatic presidential candidate, like we have had in Dr. Bawumia.
Yeah.
But the partner you're weak, any unproductive, any focus, it lacks resources, it lacks details to strategy. Won't win election. Nobody can win an election on the back of a weak political party.
Right. Mamembra also, you are making proposals, reforms, and I see a lot of it. I watch a lot of it here with me. Anyway, we should do this. We should brilliant ideas. Personally, do you have any intention of personally contesting for a position? Because they're okay if you are not in it, the implementation and as a proposals number 2. Do you have any intention to contest?
Sadiq, this is not the time to talk about positions. It will be a selfish agenda. We are here reforms. Now, if you are a party person, now if you have an opportunity to come to radio anywhere, talk the way I have just spoken.
Okay.
Introduce issues, condemn where you're supposed to condemn, criticize, make an effective critique, and make proposal. Now, currently, a national election somewhere 2026 thereabout. Reforms in way. They've set up a committee that is going around the country. And then you say you are talking about positions. That's selfishness. For me, it is not the position that is most important.
Okay.
The most important is to get the party work.
Okay.
And then a due time now, I'm sure the party people will choose the right people to lead the party. So for me, I'm not thinking about any position.
Now it is, brilliant to say you want the reforms before the...
Yes, we'll do the reforms. People are jumping the gun.
Yeah.
I have seen people talking about wanting to be general secretary.
Yeah.
That is totally unpatriotic because the party, we are in trouble. The party is in serious trouble. And there's a process to revive the party. Now, you are talking to become a general or national chairman. No, people should not be speaking like that. Let's concentrate on the reforms. Ideas will be on board. I have seen that the National Elections Committee announced an email address, which I find quite intriguing though, because how many people in the country have email addresses and access to the internet? But all the same, let's continue pushing and reforming and restructuring the party.
Okay.
We shouldn't be talking about positions now.
You being on social media, I'm sure you also read a lot of people say you should go for the general secretary position. Pay position there, but it drew Hona say, and now you don't have intention at all. You are looking into the future. What will happen?
My intention is to support the process to build a strong party. Okay. I don't care about positions. Position is nothing.
Yeah.
Build a party. Now, if the party comes to power, you have your security.
Right.
At the appropriate time, if I feel,
yes,
I need to be part of the leadership to address these problems, and I'm convinced I'm the right person, now why not? I will seek the service, the mandate of the people. But for now, and you're right to be talking about positions.
But presidential candidate selection, do you honestly think, for what has transpired in the election, the manner of defeat to the presidential candidate, the worst ever, to the parliamentary side, the worst ever, do you think, NPP as a party will present Dr. Bawumia again?
I have my answer question, maybe you didn't pay attention. Me see, and yeah, about individuals. It's not about Baumia, Kennedy, Boachia, Jako, Kobne, Japon. No, it's not about them. No. They can be there and think that they are smart, they are intelligent, or more resources. If they lead a party that is totally meaningless, any purpose, weak, they will lose. That is what they should know.
Okay.
So me, I'm not going to discuss individuals because I have told you, say, we have all the things I enumerated in a person here, president. I say, oh, yes, smart. The president should be smart. The president should be articulate. He should know what he's about and things like that. And all these qualities, Baumia demonstrated those qualities.
Yeah.
But on the look at the numbers. The numbers suggested
So you don't think it is Baumia, the candidate, but the party as a vehicle?
That is it.
Okay.
Now, if as a human being, if you are traveling to my hometown of Sang, and then you don't have a proper vehicle, can you go? Even though you are a good driver, you can't go.
Okay.
So we need to build a very strong, brave, courageous party. Get the leadership on speak it truth to power, and address the challenges in both our polling stations and our electoral areas, and to some extent the constituent and the regional places, and then we can get our party moving. And that is why, in my view, that we can come back strongly and defeat the NDC in 2028.
I've asked a lot, so many questions, and we ran an hour. But people have other questions. I'm a person may run it through. I say, Obama, I think your guest is saying the truth about what led the NPP to opposition few days to election. Then you increase fuel. Neil Darkman 1. Was say he's a very, very brilliant and bold Musah superior away from Neil Darkman 1. But say, kindly ask the former mayor and deputy CEO how he contributed to the party's success as an appointee in the last 8 years. I know the youth in Agrek under his office were not paid for so many months. Yusuf,
I think Mami make his intervention on this matter. To want to find out what I've done. If you look at the statistics, it will tell you. In 2020, Tamale were 2 constituencies.
Right.
In 2020, Tamale South. The numbers were 25,000 votes. Tamale Central. Tamale South, I think, were 29,000 votes. In 2024, Musah Superior is not there as mayor. Go and look at the results. They are very heartbreaking results. So that is my scorecard.
Yes.
And in terms of youth, now I have made public statements. Apart from discussing this privately at executive management meetings, which the CEO didn't really care anyway, me make public statements calling on the government to pay them, not only youth in afforestation, the NAPCONians, school feeding caterers, teacher and nurses training allowances, and the national service personnel allowances. All these monies were in arrears. And so, Sir General Man is right to have commented on that.
Medase, we say Yembusau, or see he was a member. Do you know that those in youth in afforestation have not been paid? They owe us about 13 months. Rich from Sawam, we were made to work like animals, but they never paid us. That is the youth in afforestation.
We are singing from the same hymn sheet. I'm talking about omu problems and lamenting of how making several interventions to get them paid, but the finance minister didn't listen to us.
Well, good morning, Sadiq. Please kindly ask Honorable Musah Superior that we are aware of the unemployment rate among party executives, but he was deputy CEO of forestry. He should point out one single party executive that he helped to secure at least a job at forestry guard or as a forestry guard at his office.
Hundreds of them. Now, maybe I pointed out, I'll even mention some names he doesn't even know. So it doesn't make sense. But I've supported people in terms of recruitments. I've supported people in terms of their bills, education bills, and things like that. But these are, I'm not somebody who believes in self-aggrandizement. I don't believe in those.
I see Musah Superior is making sense. The man is speaking truth. Obama, Musah Superior is on point. So many issues he said about why the NPP lost the last general election, especially on the part of former President Nana Akuffo Addo. The former president was 80% part of our defeat. Elder Collins Dakwa, Oforit Krum constituency, Nehona Ode Abba, way every Kamal Amasama Bruni, or say Obama Musah Superior has decided to unnecessarily be loud to court attention. If he's today condemning others, didn't the president still give him an appointment after his abysmal performance as a Tamale mayor? Why didn't he reject it due to his failure as Tamale mayor? Why didn't he tell the president then that there were many more people to consider for appointment? He should spare us the noise. If he is true to his words as he suggests, some of the proposals, he should put it in writing and submit to the National Party.
That is brilliant. And I like this. Very fantastic write-up.
Yeah.
It encourages democracy.
Okay.
But you see, he doesn't really know me well. I left the job in after the 2020 elections now. Me resigning here.
Okay.
So you see, he doesn't know me well. And when I resigned, I didn't come to persuade the president to make me deputy chief executive. The president did, and I deserve it. I deserve to be a government official because when we were doing Buzia Dankwa, I was part of it.
Okay.
Throughout the NPP existence and the working of the NPP, I have been there.
Okay.
Yeah. So if the president is president because I have worked for the president to be president, I deserve to be given a job. I mean, Jan Kroma have you seen Jan Kroma on any platform? The president daughter did he campaign for the party? Has he ever a campaign? But he's doing a job as at the Creative Art Council. Nana as in TBD too. Have you ever seen him on any? I'm told he's not well. I wish him well. Have you ever seen him on any political platform?
Okay.
He was the executive secretary to the president. Don't we have lawyers in the party who have worked so hard for their party? So for him to say, I just told him my scorecard when I was mayor. Me juma and me boy, and my numbers more than when I was no longer mayor.
Okay.
So the person should go and look at the records.
That's the score
and then update himself anytime he's making a public commentary about me.
Some of the delegates, so I say, my name is Michael Kwachi. Please, can I have Musah Superior's contact because we need this man as the general secretary of the party. Or say, Oba, the morning show, dear, we will relate it, Debbie. It will be morning show, ma'am. Oba, good morning. Please, Ghana can be great in terms of development. We need to get a national policy, and NPP should bring national policies to their manifesto in 2028. Greetings to Musah Superior. Oba, I have never seen this man before, but I hear his name on radio a lot. He's speaking the truth, but ask him if he could have spoken if Nana Nebu was...
No.
Or the Nana do or Nana Nebu. He said that if Nana was still the president, you wouldn't have been able to come out and speak to all the issues.
But if Nana was the president, I would have been happy looking for an appointment. Why would I come and speak like that? He's still confused. We are speaking this way because we are very upset. I'm very angry that we lost the election.
So if you win,
if we win, you think I'll come and describe Kodu as shambolic? Because the scorecard will suggest that I'll be speaking. I'll be speaking no truth.
Yeah.
So my friend didn't get it things right.
The man in the studio is speaking the truth. We have Peter Bolly Bamboy and Osha. Me for last two number family calls. Good morning, Obama. I'm James, listening to you live from Achimota. Musah Superior is great man. His mindset is beyond the future of this NPP. Or say, okay, if they have all these men in the party, why did they allow these small boys to disrespect us? Telling the truth to yourself is the first step of reset. Okay. Good morning. Sadi, kindly ask Mr. Superior that is he aware that his office gave our permit to NDC men in Ahafo and concession to them whilst party executives struggle to get work to do.
I am aware that the chief executive, the former chief executive, John Aluki.
Kiss me.
I am aware the former chief executive, John Aluki, didn't want to hear NPP matter.
Okay.
He was not interested in people coming for help.
Okay.
Now, so Forestry Commission, all NPP members who come and mass in my office, I have to find a way as a deputy without any authority to try and appease them. So he's right.
And then I see you support John Mohammed's appointment, because he's giving party people the job.
His appointment is.
Then it will make it difficult for you to come to power.
No, that is I am happy he's doing that so that in the future when we come to power, because I am not sure whether John Mahama can deliver I mean, how there are signs that he cannot deliver, and if you want, we can discuss that. He's a very poor leader. His judgment is very, very poor.
Poor leader who is making good, impressive appointments.
The judgment is poor, and there are a number of policies they are now trying to flip-flop.
Okay.
LGBT. That thing. I'm sure you have been following his comments about it.
Yeah.
You've been following year 1, level 100 academic user fee. You have been following flip-flop.
Yeah.
It doesn't look good for them. So Ghanaians would definitely give them the time and at the appropriate time especially when we get ourselves properly organized with the right leadership.
Okay. Me fa a few calls na me de jumedi no I see 0598987979. Which messages na eba from across Ghana, every constituency and region. Obia send a message way free. Also good morning, Oba. The man has really spoken. I'm in Chebi. And we lost election because of these 4 Achim people. Nana, Gabi, Bedi Etu and Ken. Also the free Chebi ena ode aba. Yankona Yemfa calls on 0598987979. Yes, okay. Obi wa homane. So hello. Hello. Okay. Hello. Me pacho there more phrases on WhatsApp. More phrase 0598987979. And no any day FR calls. So no, this is Angel in the morning, Angel 102.9 FM. Hello. 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 Oh. Meteo on cancel. Hello. No. Line the call. Eti Obi assign Abaswana 0598987979. Hello. Hello. Hello.
Technical problem.
Yeah, I think some share lines no mame na yan wrap up the show. Make us say yane Honorable Iddrisu Musah Superior, or your former mayor of Tamale, and or your former deputy CEO of Forestry Commission, or a leading member of the NPP. But wabe washe or money money be kakra. These are the things we need to do to revive the party after sa defeat omo bida. I think that we will get 1 or 2 calls before say the interview no ABC. Okay. Hello. No. I think it's from the bet me atwa. So Mamisha or where's how they wrap it up and I mean some of the areas that you want to touch before say bed drop it the curtain.
Thank you, Sadiq. Now first of all, no party enduring party. Now established on the 26th of July 1992.
Okay.
Now established party 5 months to elections on the 3rd of November. Participating in the first election in the 4th Republic. The number we got in that election, over 30%. A party for me on the 26th of July.
Measure say you bet me afa. Hello.
Number we got.
Yeah, hello. Ma already or no anchor for me say TV and so then you bet me out on can clearly. We didn't be our casa free.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm David Sedema, calling from Bole, Mumbai.
David from Bole Bamboy, ain't you?
Yes, I've been the former parliamentary candidate for 2020.
Oh, former parliamentary candidate for Bole Bamboy 2020. Okay.
Yeah, 2020.
Okay, ain't you?
What Mayor is saying is the truth but hard truth. But what I would want to do now is, if after the election he can take my name, so that I have his contact and have issues to discuss.
Okay. Thank you very much. Parliamentary candidate for Bole Bamboy in the 2020 election. Or say he wants to speak to you, but you are saying the absolute truth. So he will want to contact you.
Yeah, sure. So I'll find out. I know him.
Yeah, okay.
Yes,
no
problem. Our candidate.
Okay. Hello? We have another person. Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
Okay. We didn't be our casa free now. Yenti the open soka.
From me, KK Mafu. Me kase, Mr. Musah Superior, I was the studio Okatano, make it sense for but MPP nya o madwen so mbefa obi a o wonyansa ne we no e de anim eno ntimi hu say 2028 e be say lose because ye fa obi a o sika e presika ho na ye de hwe ba nipa wo nim de ne ade obetimi aboa amma ye numbers no me yetimi are ne no ye mfa sa afọ no eno ntimi hu say e be say lose the lesson ntini ye hwe sa de ni ye na ye nya nipa omo nyansa ne nimdia no betimi aboa ma ye nya numbers no na yetimi akoye nim ne awe ne 2028 election the contribution
medasi pa also na adwentra or the buy no so wrap up that
so the all can no cre na say my culture said there's only one reason there's a political party to win power. Now if you go and take money and vote for people it means that reason no you have already failed. So they all can no cre now make about the history of this party. Who said the first presidential candidate of your party, Professor Albert Edubwahi. Now he was supported by people like B.J. Darocha, Jenim Boateng, Teresa Amaletego, Gladys Asma, Christian Checha, Odoi Sykes, Jacob H.B. Lamte, Alaji Malik. These are strong people with great principles. Omufesi Jerry Rawlings. At that time, Jerry Rawlings metamorphosed from a military into a civilian. And it was very difficult with an iron fist, investigating. In fact, at that time, we had political structures of the NDC all over the country. You remember the Committee for the Defense of the Revolution and representatives of the 31st December Women's Movement.
Right.
Now, MPP and Neobia, but yet me clocky 30% in the elections.
The first election.
The first elections. Right. And it took us only 5 months. So I want this whole party to have the same thinking as Saye War 1992. So these are the people who should be inspiring us. And finally,
Mame for last call. Hello.
Hello. Good morning. Over.
Yeah, we didn't be our free.
Manuel, because I go for there.
Okay, mine too, Manuel.
I think the studio is like I don't know. Has he been around for a while?
Musah has been there since.
And the way he's speaking, now Ocean Kofa, the party no more because I was say, I don't a the other one.
General Secretary say drew. Spiritually can't honor Mulusu here.
And say Rudia and a list and a faculty, and they move only do Jimo and a fabus for better now. Now almost now continuity. I think I fall in love with him, and I pray that even I'm not a politician, but I don't support the party, but I think the man talks so. Almost almost find the good people and see places are on between Akasaya people who they people can tell the idea of the party. On main conference, here or more family and friends issues. So thank you very much.
Medasi, thank you very much, Manuel. Main for calls and messages in the door. So Musa, we have 1 minute. 1 minute.
So basically, I am encouraging the party for the spirit that brought about the likes of the JB Danko, any Professor Dubois and Stephen Kreku and the rest, Alaji Salifu COP, Bawa Wema and Kono. So our spirit, I want the spirit to lead this party so that we can believe, say, 2028, we can deliver and mobilize the youth around the country. Now, you deliver, I can assure them that some mistakes are those mistakes will never be repeated because this party will be stronger and we can confront the presidential candidate and confront the president and make sure say deliver. So it's a CIA here, unity in the party. People should be able to speak out, but those speaking out are men will be on them because it is not the best way a democracy advises. So I'm out for speaker, and at the end of the day, I think we'll put the party back to shape and return to government in 2028.
Yeah, thank you very much. Will be the message Abana or compare to more Ashanti regional chairman Tim Peseme Bodi was he likes your disposition and body language. Politics is not about insults, it's about respect to each other even when we disagree. And I like how he speaks. Okay, Papa will on your politics into a sema bonidi, but he likes the way you express your views. Okay, talk more GH, more fashion live until you better must say, Honorable Iddrisu Musah Superior, or former mayor of Tamale, or leading member of the NPP, and or sign a